Hi guys! Have you ever looked at your own art and felt like, yeah, this is good, but you know, it could be way better? I've been drawing in Procreate for a long time. My Sonic artwork's been printed on shirts, posters, embroidered, and even used as a magazine cover. But if I'm being honest, my coloring, it's kind of basic. So this time, I wanted to do Sonic differently. Not faster, not more effect. I wanted to try a new way of coloring. And that's when I started learning on Skillshare. Instead of just guessing colors and hoping it looks cool, I wanted someone to actually explain it. Lately, I've been trying to actually get better at drawing on my iPad. Not just drawing, but like understanding why my stuff looks flat sometimes. So I started watching this Skillshare class on digital illustration and coloring in Procreate. And dude, I didn't expect it to change how I think this much. The teacher actually explains why you pick certain colors, why lighting matters, and how small choices add up. I watch a lesson, pause it, then literally try it right away on my own art. And that's when it finally made sense. I stopped rushing everything, stopped just guessing colors. Also, it low-key helped me scroll less. Same iPad, same app, but instead of doom scrolling, I'm actually making stuff. Skillshare has tons of creative classes taught by real professionals, illustrators, designers, even people who turn art into their job. So if you're into drawing, animation, or just want to get better at something creative, Skillshare is honestly a solid place to start. And the first 500 people who use my link in the description or scan the QR code get a free 1-month trial. Alright, now let's finish this. In today's video, I'm gonna redraw this Sonic fan art I made. This piece is actually a tribute to the Japanese box art from the first Sonic game. It's not an exact copy of the original. I drew modern Sonic instead of classic Sonic. I also used an art style inspired by Alberto Mielgo's concept art for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and made the background more vibrant and colorful. For this video, we're going to make him look like Sonic's 3D renders, but in a painted style. If you're wondering why I didn't use Sonic 1's American box art as inspiration instead of the Japanese version, I know the American one is more iconic, but I personally prefer the Japanese box art, and I have a reason why. But before that, let's talk about the difference between Japanese Sonic and American Sonic from the original Sonic the Hedgehog box art. Like, why do they look so different, and why America got this edgier version? Let's dive in. So first, Sonic was designed in Japan by a guy named Naoto Oshima. His original goal was to create a mascot for Sega that was simple but cool, something kids could recognize instantly and even draw themselves. The design drew inspiration from old school cartoons and was meant to look sleek and unique, like a blue blur you could doodle in class. The Japanese Sonic ended up being kind of round and lineless, with softer features and big expressive eyes. Basically more anime inspired and cute than anything else. If you look at the Japanese box art, the background features abstract shapes, neon colors, scribbles, zigzags, and almost like a magazine cover or album art. There's also typography everywhere, including lines like the most famous hedgehog in the world. On top of that, there's this awesome motivational text in English. Don't just sit there and waste your precious time. When you want to do something, do it right away. Do it when you can. It's the only way to live a life without regrets. Wow, I love this nice life advice. I even included it in my fan art. You can find more motivational text on the Japanese box art of later Sonic games, such as Sonic 2, Sonic CD, and Sonic & Knuckles. Now look at Sonic in the Japanese box art. He looks like the Sonic from the game, right? Friendly, adventurous, quick, and polished. He was made to appeal to Western audiences. But when the game was gonna be sold in North America, Sega of America felt that original Sonic wasn't extreme enough for the kids. Hedgehogs weren't exactly a household thing, and they wanted Sonic to look cooler than Mario, like the new rebel on the block. So they brought in their own artist Greg Ray, who also worked for Walt Disney and Warner Brothers, and had him redraw Sonic for the US box art. This version has thick outlines, shiny and dramatic shading, spikes like a mohawk, narrowed eyes, and a confident cocky smile. He was meant to scream, "I'm way past cool and I'm the fastest thing alive!" He's got that 90s attitude, not soft and cute. The background has Sonic's first level, Green Hill, rings, and obstacles. No neon colors, scribbles, and abstract shapes. Why? It's to explain the game instantly. Unfortunately, there's no motivational text unlike the Japanese version, so that kinda sucks. Despite that, this box art is still great and nostalgic. So why the change? Honestly, the reason is, of course, marketing. At the time, Nintendo's Mario was super popular and Sonic was Sega's challenger. America's team thought Sonic had to be red, not cutesy to compete, so they gave him sharper features and attitude to make him look more extreme instead of just cute. Japan actually hated this change. They didn't like how different it was from what the Sonic team originally created. But once it was out there on American ads, posters, TV shows, comics, and magazines, it kinda stuck for Western fans, at least for a while. Fun fact, this wasn't just random. Sega of America thought American kids associated cool characters with attitude and edge, so they influenced the redesign. Meanwhile, the Japanese art stayed more faithful to how Sonic looked in the game. It's kinda crazy how the same character can be drawn two different ways just because of where the game was sold. But that's classic 90s game marketing for you. So yeah, that's the difference between Japanese Sonic and American Sonic. Personally, I like both, but I prefer the Japanese box art because of its cleaner, more vibrant colors, and more artistic look. And it's literally how Sonic actually looked in the game. That's Sonic right there. The fan art may be inspired by the Japanese box art, but Sonic himself, despite being modern Sonic, was also influenced by American Sonic. He still has the attitude, the confident smirk, and that extreme vibe. I know the post is more dynamic and isn't exactly the same as the original, but it was inspired by the cover of the first issue of IDW Sonic comic drawn by Tyson Hess, the artist behind Sonic Mania's animated cutscenes and movie Sonic's redesign. So which one do you guys prefer, Japanese Sonic or American Sonic? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, the art is finished and here's the final result. If you wanna actually learn how to level up your art, I've been learning on Skillshare and it's been super helpful. Try it out, mess around, and see what you can make. No pressure. Just grab a pen and bring your imagination to life. You're much more talented than you think. If you find this video helpful, feel free to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, keep creating, and have fun!